Hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Cozy Corner. I'm Brianna, and this is the Crazy Cozy Corner. I guess closet edition. I'm following the intro and the outro at the same time, and so we're not in this setting the entire time. It's terrible lighting, I know, I'm sorry. But it's time for everybody's favorite time of the month. It is time for our TBR Tackle. Did I actually draw any of these books that you're gonna see? I don't think so. And I'm okay with that. I admire people who can just draw it and read it. But every time I drew one, I did not feel like doing it. So you're going to see some failed attempts and me just digging through. And also I found a lot of books that I had read already, and because I had taken them off my shelf and like read them, like I hadn't gone through the 90 books or whatever in my little box. But yeah. I'm sorry we're going to start this off with such bad video quality, but I didn't feel like getting out of my bed, and I needed to get this filmed before I forget everything. So here we are. So I'm reading Shiver. Okay. I thought I liked this author's work. I've read The Raven Cycle. Then I think I read the second book too. But I liked The Raven Cycle, and I thought I liked how she wrote. But Shiver is a whole different ballgame to me. Now I have theories because I'm convinced I'm gonna like this, okay? But what in the insta-love? I'm about 50 to 60% of the way through, and like I'm a little unnerved, but basically, oh gosh, I knew their names and then I didn't. Sam and Grace. Grace is the name of my sister's dog, so it fits. But follow Grace. She was attacked by wolves when she was young. She was bitten by werewolves. Didn't change, or so it seems. I'm not that far to figure out like what exactly that means yet. But she's had a fascination with the wolves ever since, and there was like that one wolf, and they like were drawn to each other. Well, he ends up getting shot and ends up in his human form on her porch. Well, she helps him, and basically they're in love from like the get-go. And it's a little, I don't know, I guess I've never, I don't know, instant attraction is not my thing. And even like, I guess maybe they were communicating in their heads without realizing it, but that's even a stretch for me. I'm like, they don't know each other. Like, yeah, they've watched each other, but they don't know each other. But, you know, it's kind of like giving off if Twilight was just werewolves. Because, I mean, they're obsessed with each other, probably for their detriment. But my girl, she's still doing good in school, so go Grace. I have a theory that Olivia, like, something's gonna happen to her. She's like gonna get mixed up in everything, and she's like gonna be a werewolf or something. But right now, like, Olivia had just like met Sam and was like kind of cagey with Grace, saying we need to talk, but hasn't called her back yet. And Grace is more like, my werewolf boyfriend's gonna turn, and it might be my last time to be with him. No problems. But yeah, I promise I don't hate the book. If I hated a book, I wouldn't talk about it, because like there's one book so far in my life that I've hated, and I talked about it enough to acknowledge that I read it, and I didn't even finish reading it, but it still lives rent-free in my noggin, and I wish it didn't. But yeah, that's where we're at with Shiver. It's a cute time. Definitely not reinventing the wheel, but I know people loved it, and I know like in a different timeline of mine, a little bit earlier in my life, if I read it, I would have loved it. I'd be like, yes, Sam. But like, you can definitely tell when it was written, because you know, like the emo, like rocker type that was really popular for a little bit, and I'm like, you're showing your age book, you're showing your age, but then, like, am I showing my age? Because I know what it is. But yeah, so that's where we're at. If anything exciting happens, I'll give you another update. Okay, we are back. So I finished reading Shiver, like literally maybe less than an hour and a half, okay? There we go. And I have to say, I would have like lived, laughed, loved for this book when I was a teenager, or whenever I read the Twilight series for the first time. Live, laugh, love. It gives very much that vibe. The stakes somehow to me didn't feel as high, but I mean, I guess there was like the stakes of, like, I think the stakes of being found out was like higher in Twilight, and the like tension, I guess, was more there. They're completely different, like in writing style and everything, but it was a cute time. I was right, my theory was correct about Olivia, so like the one time I actually theorized, I got it right. But yeah, I don't remember where I stopped talking. I kind of tried to watch the last clip back, and I had no idea where I stopped, because honestly a majority of the book was them just being like, I love you. Well, not even saying it, but it's like, I love you, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna be stoic. And just them being obsessed with each other. I don't feel like there was lots of like character development for either of them. I'm not sure that was necessarily the point of the story. I'm trying to be really nice to this book too, because this is one of my best friend's favorite book series, and I don't want to just like crap on it. But like, I did enjoy myself. So now I'm gonna grab the TBR box and we're gonna draw, because I got to choose this first one. So here's the box. Executive decision. I'm gonna read Once Upon a Broken Heart, because none of these books that I am grabbing are grabbing at me. So because of that, I get to choose. So can't decide which copy. I'm gonna see which one looks better, and then I'll read this. Okay, let's talk. I have started Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think we talked about it in the last clip, just that I was reading it, because I did not want to read anything that I was pulling, and so I chose what I wanted to read. So I am 150 pages in, about to start chapter 20, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I don't know, like, I know Jax is toxic, and he's like the type that I'm like, ugh. Although I kind of like, ugh, I wish Donatella, like, I don't know, like, I wish that she would have just loved Jack, but then he was kind of obsessive, but like, I think he was like prepared to love her. Like, hear me out, I think, but you know, she broke his heart. And so, like, I'm guessing possibly that Evangeline's gonna be like the fix to Jax's problems. I want Jax to have a happy ending. I really do. I know right now he's more fate than human because he got his heart broken, so he's like, I'm never gonna love. But like, I think it's possible. Like, he already got close. So we start off right off the bat that Evangeline is trying to stop her stepsister from getting married to the man she loves. Like, I guess that they both love. And so she goes seeking out the Prince of Hearts because she had a misunderstanding about his character and like what he could do. And so she makes a deal with Jax, and it stops the wedding, but it also turns the whole wedding party into stone. And so she drinks the poison that was used to make them all stone and switches places with them. And she's stuck like that for 6 weeks. And becomes basically a hero once she's healed. And then Scarlet and Donatella from the Caraval series, I guess this is still the same universe, but like when they were main characters, they invite Evangeline to the palace and basically get her to go as an ambassador to the North Kingdom's party. It's a party for their, like, the son, the prince, to find a wife, and he had declared that he wasn't going to find a wife or marry anybody, but you know, it might change. And that's where the Fates, who had terrorized wherever, I can't remember the empire name, and it's going to take me too long to figure that out. So where Scarlet is empress, they had, like, there was a week of terror or whatever, and so a lot of the Fates kind of left that had caused chaos, and so they went to the north, and that's where Jax is. And she had made the deal with him in exchange for 3 kisses, not with him, but with whoever he tells her to kiss. And so she still has that bargain, even though, like, she was stone and isn't stone anymore. And so she meets him the very first night she's there, and he calls in one of those kisses, and she kisses the prince. And now we're trying to figure out if the kiss did something to Prince Apollo, which is the prince, obviously. But it seems like Jax might be, like, hitting on Marisol, which is her stepsister. And it looks like I don't know how I feel about the stepsister just yet, because I want to believe that it's like a red herring, that she actually hates Evangeline and, like, is jealous of her. I want to believe that, because that's kind of overused in my opinion. It's like the false nice and everything. I just want, like, it would be cool if, like, she was just genuinely nice and was just misunderstood. But, like, right now there's, like, lots of things that may look like she's guilty and jealous and trying to make Evangeline's life hard, even though, like, it's Evangeline's fault that her stepsister is having a rough time. But her stepsister, as far as we know, doesn't know that. And so I'm just, like, it's too early for theories. We haven't figured out what the, like, main force, like, what is the reason we're, like, having this story, at least in my opinion. I don't know, like, if it's just the 3 kisses, like, there's not, like, that's it, like, but usually there's kind of a, like, there's a reason that the story continues forward. Like in Caraval, Scarlet's trying to find her sister. In, what is it, Legend, Donatella is trying to win something. No, she's trying to win a wish, or, like, something like that. Something like that, to bring back her mom. And then she is, in finale, they're the Fates, like, they're trying to beat the Fates. So, like, we don't have what our main objective is, because I feel like the 3 kisses aren't, I hope it's not like the whole book. I feel like we can get about 75% of the way through and, like, finish that up, and, like, there's another reason that they, like, still have to work together, or, I mean, we'll see. But that's my, like, as I'm reading, thoughts. I'm proud of me that I remembered to do this, and now it's time to go clean up and wash my nasty hair. My goodness, Miss Stephanie Garber did it again. I absolutely love, like, the stories she tells. I think I've only read the books in her Caraval series, like, in this world, but, like, and the only miss for me was Spectacular, which, like, it doesn't even, I mean, it counts, but it's like, it's kind of like a bonus story. Ooh, you can tell I've been reading. My eyes are strained. I need to wear my glasses. But I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart. And like, I should have seen the ending coming. I really should have. But I think just like how she wrote Evangeline, she wanted the readers to really, really believe that Jax like could be redeemed. And like, I do believe he can still be redeemed. Like, it's just part of me, I just want him to have a happy ending. But I mean, if they had fallen in love and like he found out that he could have more than one true love or whatever, like, I don't think Donatella was really his true love. I'm just saying, like, I think anyone that like, I don't know, like, I agree with that theory that Evangeline kind of threw out. But oh my gosh. So next we're reading The Ballad of Never After. We're also gonna pull up the Watsons, Lady Susan, and Sanditon. These are short stories and some uncompleted stories of Jane Austen, I believe. So it should be, it's less than 300 pages, and I had the audiobook, so this should go by pretty quick. But you know, we're gonna like read this, and then when I'm like driving or whatever, I'll listen to this. But like, oh my gosh, like I this kind of story is what makes me love reading. I don't know how to explain it. Like I couldn't put the book down. Like, my weekends are when I can like really read through. But like, I started reading chapter 20, which is I think where we left off last time. About, yeah, right here. And so I read chapter 20 to whatever the last chapter is, to so like page 151 to 403. Like, I read that chunk just in the last few hours of today, and I just, so I think what was going on, so Evangeline had just they had just gotten engaged with the prince and everything, and she found out that he was bewitched, and so it didn't feel real anymore or whatever. And so she's like, she goes to the Prince of Hearts, Jax, and is like, I need you to break this spell. And so like he's like, okay, like after you marry him, like I can do that for you. And so they get married, and so Jax helps her, but she drinks this wine that has the tears of the unwed bride or whatever, and so she's poisoned, and then like she doesn't realize it, and she kisses her husband, and so she like thinks like the poison that she had like poisoned him. But like this, I loved this book. Like I can't explain anything other than like I don't know. I just, this was such a good book. There's little side quests that they do, but in the end, like she was a fugitive, like blamed for something that she didn't do, and then she comes back and is proved innocent, and she's proved innocent. But then she starts putting two and two together, and she heard the rest of the prophecy that like might be about her, and it fit her to a T because the fates were playing with her life. And so like now she, like Apollo, the prince, isn't actually dead, and so she's gonna try to like figure out how to save him without the Prince of Hearts' help, because she's mad at him. And like I would be too, but like he could be saved, right? Oh my gosh, this is like, I could not recommend this enough. Like, I think that, I don't remember where my ratings standed on the Caraval series. That was before I started reading. I loved that. Like, there's like ebbs and flows of it, but I loved that book series. And so like this, like I would love to come back to this world again and again. So like I have to say that this is probably a 5-star in my opinion. We'll see what the rest of the series is. I heard A Curse for True Love is kind of a flop because Stephanie really kind of like she wanted to get out of the world and everything. And so I hope that like people were like just disappointed because of their own reasons, like not because it actually was a bad book, you know? And I don't think they said it was bad. Anyways, it doesn't matter because like I'm going in with my own opinions and everything, but I know like that was chef's kiss book. But again, you know, I'll do some reading updates. It might be a little back and forth just depending on what I get read. But yeah, oh my gosh. A moment of silence for Once Upon a Broken Heart. That's so good. So good. Everything is not okay. I just finished The Ballad of Never After. I'm not okay. So, Evangeline, and Jax and Chaos, they find the stones and they open the arch. But people do crazy things for love, don't they? And what really stinks is Apollo isn't even in love. I read this book, so this is the same day as I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart. My heart is broken. So, it's time for A Curse for True Love, because I'm gonna riot if she doesn't get her memories back. I think I might lose my ever-loving mind. Usually the second book in a series is not as great as the first one, but like Stephanie, she did it. Like, it was good. Now I need a breather. I'm devastated. Oh my gosh. He didn't. He loves her. Yeah. That's my soapbox I'm gonna get off of. I don't know if any of that was intelligible, but yeah, I liked the book. You should read the series. Yeah. Do not be alarmed. If my eyes look watery, I just put eye drops in because my eyes are so strained. Because I read 2.5 books within the span of 12 hours. So, like, forgive the look of this. I have no words. So, I finished the series, the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I read the last book, A Curse for True Love. There was no check-ins. I devoured this book. 3 hours. I read this. Like I said, this series is just, it reminds me of like finding books, and the books that just make you want to stay in the world. And I can't really sit and like stay submerged in the world during the week, so like I'd rather spend my weekends reading. Elephant in the room. It's bedtime, and she's potty training, so that's why she's in her kennel. I don't keep her in there all the time, but that's all you see. So I just want to let you know, when it's not bedtime, she's downstairs frolicking around, trying not to pee on our rugs. Sidetracked. What was I even saying? Like, this series, like, and Caraval, like, they just remind me of the worlds I love to be in. And it made me happy. Like, the romance was, like, the main plot, but also it wasn't. I don't know, it was, like, because, I guess it's the enemies to lovers, right? But it's just, they got to know each other and spent time with each other and everything. And, like, they acknowledged that they were attracted, like, each individual was attractive, but like it just I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the disappointment was for A Curse for True Love. Like, I don't know if people just wanted a bad ending or like what, but I think this was a perfect way to wrap up the book. I mean, it was kind of a 180 for Apollo, for like his change in character, but literally the only way we've known him is Bewitched, so we didn't know what his true character was until it came out in this book in the end of the last one. And I'm just like, this was a good book, I'm just saying. So I don't know why. So because I devoured this series, and because each book like had strengths and weaknesses, but I can't even tell you a weakness that I can think of, because I enjoyed so thoroughly being in this book, that like in this world, that I can't like it. I didn't even want to focus on what was wrong or like that. I just, the way it's made me feel, and I already had like a love for Jax, and so him getting a happy ending after like everything, it's like, because monsters aren't usually born, they're made. And so like, not that it excuses the behaviors that are taken, but like this is the one time I'm good with a toxic main character, male main character, because like he grows and evolves and allows his heart to feel again, and I just I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that he finally gets, the fox, and I'm a happy camper. Like, I don't know how to explain that, like, any better than that. Like, this was such an amazing world to be a part of, and I'm actually kind of devastated that this is over for me. I can always jump back in, but it'll never be, following them, like, on, seeing, like, the crazy antics that Evangeline and Jax get up to, and Lala and Dane. Like, that'd be a cool story to read, like, kind of maybe like the before, like when their separation happened, or like their love story and then their separation, and then getting like maybe falling in love again, or like even flashing back to that. That would be so cool to see. But I think she's left this world behind for now. I would never say for good, because I don't think she hates this world. Obviously she doesn't, because she put so much thought into the words she wrote. And these, I didn't annotate much because I'm still a little new to like doing that, but like this and the Ballad of Never After, like there was just some fun things that happened that I just had to like underline. And I mean, I did a lot with this, a lot compared to usual with The Curse for True Love, and those clips are in here like before, just one right after another, because it was so good. Like it was funny, and I was smiling, and I didn't like kick and giggle, like, or giggle and kick my feet, but like I did giggle, and I was smiling, and like it's just the feeling, and that's all I can really tell you. And I'm just gonna keep talking in circles because like I can't explain how much I loved this, but I can move on from that and talk about kind of what went down in the book. So we start off, Evangeline has Evangeline has forgotten everything because Apollo stole her memories. And so, I mean, he stole them up to a certain point. So every memory she had of Jax and everything that happened in the Northern Kingdom already, like, she forgot. So she lost a year of her life pretty much. And so we're following her, trying to like regain her memories, but kind of being suspicious of everybody, and Jax just not being able to stay away. And we find out that the Valors, I mean, we found out in the end of the last book, but the Valors, the ruling family, like that started the country or kingdom or whatever, they are actually alive and had been in a suspended sleep. And that Chaos is actually Castor, which is the son that everybody thought was killed by Vengeance Slaughter something or whatever their name is. But my heart. Okay. So she's like, we just follow her kind of regaining her memories, and I almost picked up the phone to record because we were halfway through the book, and I was like, she has not regained her memories yet, and we're not getting a lot of Jack's action. I'm not happy, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it. And then, like, oh, he wanted to protect her from himself, and so he got this little, like, bracelet, but at the cost of his heart. But then he was gonna get rid of his heart, but he doesn't get rid of his heart, and he decides that he loves her, and they love each other, and they can kiss. And they kissed, and she didn't die, and it cracked me up because he's like, but you were dying, and she's like, no, I just forgot how to breathe. And I'm like, gosh, to be kissed like that. I actually don't want to pass out if I'm being kissed. That's not, but like, I'm just saying. But then, satisfying that the Tree of Souls, I'm telling you, that was satisfying for me. And it's like, I knew because he was willing to sacrifice her that it would be him, because he loved himself more than he loved her. And I don't think he ever loved her. I think he was infatuated, and he never had to work for something before. And so that, like, in his POV, when you see it very briefly, you can see that, like, it was more like, now, like, he's always been handed things, and this isn't something that he was handed. And I mean, I would say justice for Apollo, but I mean, like, like, he could have done much better. Like, he could have respected her choices, but like, he didn't believe that they were her choices. But then when she would make a different choice, like the same choice but like under different circumstances, like, sometimes you gotta just know that you need to let go. But unfortunately, some people don't do that, and he had to learn his lesson the hard way, and now he is immortal in a tree. But I mean, I don't know what I would love to see, but I would love to see more of this universe, because, like, if I go back to Lala and Dane, if we followed, like, if they, like, did flashbacks of, like, them being separated and them falling in love again or whatever, like, you could see how the Valor family comes back into power, because, like, if they're gonna take over the kingdom again, because literally the whole, like, family that was ruling is gone. Like, the younger brother disappeared. He doesn't have a title anymore. Like, there's really no claims to the throne. And so I would love to see that. But yeah, that was A Curse for True Love. And this whole series, like, I would recommend it. All of the books were a hit for me. And, like, I'm kind of concerned about finding something to read after this. Like, I'm gonna read that Jane Austen one, but, like, finding a book that just speaks to you like this, oh man, this is gonna hurt for a long time. And I'm okay with that, because I got a chance to read this story, and these books will never leave my shelf. That's all I'm saying. Like, I made a bunch of my friends read Caraval. I'm gonna make them read this series because it's so good. So good. Oh, okay, I'll see you in the next clip. Okay, my brain has started working again, so I can talk, and actually maybe talk about the book a little bit, like my thoughts. How cruel was Aurora? Like, I can't believe it was like, if I can't have him, nobody can. And I guess people, like, love that trope, but I'm like, nope, not for me. And I'm like, she could have had a good story, but she had to do that. I mean, she had to be a driver in the conflict, I know, but man, her, like, Jax's entire, like, tragic life pretty much was all because of her and her pettiness. And she's not even a fate. She's supposed to be human. I'm just saying. I judge her, but, like, that's so sad. And now I can give Donatella a little slack, because she could have never loved him, and that's why she survived. But, like, man, my mind's blown. And I'm so glad that Donatella was not his true love, because she was too careless with his heart anyway. Welcome to my closet. This was the quietest place that I could be. My niece is spending the night, and so her Mimi is hanging out with her, but she doesn't want to go to sleep. So if we were any closer to my door, you could hear her, because she's just really good at expressing herself, and that's great. But I would like to say that we have finished the Watsons, Lady Susan, and Sanditon. I think that's how you say the last one. I think 2 of 3 I really enjoyed. The Watsons and Lady Susan I liked a lot. Lady Susan was number 1, then Watsons, and then Sanditon. I didn't really understand what was going on in Sanditon, but I'm pretty sure the Watsons and Sanditon were incomplete. I know those 2 for a fact. I'm not sure about Lady Susan. I think you could have added more, but I think where it left off, it like kind of closed that story arc pretty good. As I was reading listening to Lady Susan today, I was like, dang, she's manipulative and like two-faced and a jerk. Like, to want to marry your daughter off to this random dude, but then marry him yourself, that's weird. That's weird. And I was really glad that her character was found out, and I was like, I would have been that sister that was married to like the sister-in-law that was married to the brother or whatever. That was like, she's not good. And like, stick with your intuition. I mean, like, obviously, like, and you could see men are just easily persuaded. That's not true. It's just in this book they are very easily persuaded. The Watsons, oh yes, so there was a dance and everything. There wasn't a lot that happened, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I would have loved to see like how it came to an end. I didn't know they like added kind of what the intention was, but like seeing it, like knowing the intention and seeing it executed are just different. And Sanditon didn't understand what was going on at all, but the Watsons and Lady Susan like made me laugh. So at least there's that. So it is, I do like Jane Austen's work. I just have like the preferences and stuff like that. And so yeah, this like collection of the works would definitely place above Emma, and that's saying a lot. But Pride and Prejudice still number 1. But I had to share this before my bedtime alarm thing went off, so that I can't even record anymore. But also before I forgot, because I basically started and finished it today, listening to it. And so yeah, it was a good time. I would definitely recommend it if you like classic stories and things in the Regency? I don't know. In the era that Jane Austen existed. But yeah, that was this book. And I think that's where we're gonna end it here for this TBR Tackle. I think I read 5 books. 4 or 5 books, and I think that's a lot. That's probably the most I've read in a while for a TBR Tackle, and I'm impressed. It was because of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, though. I am in a devastating like book hangover from that, because I'm like, how can you even follow that up? Like, Jane Austen, she did good, but like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know a series that's gonna just affect me like that one did. And so I'm gonna keep reading, because I'm determined. I'm gonna keep finding the books that just speak to me. But right now I'm a little hungover from this book happiness that I had with that, and then sadness that it was over. Like, I don't know. I didn't even feel this when I read Throne of Glass, and I love that series. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoy our time together. Like, subscribe, share, comment, ring the notification bell, do all the things. And yeah, I'll see you in the next.